Come on, guys. A big hand for Nasya Johnson.
What do you think actually made the impact?
Generally, what I see is that people go for broad marketing, which means basically targeting broad keywords.
Welcome to Trickle Up Case Studies. Hi everybody, I'm Nasya Johnson, content strategist at Trickle Up Digital. And today we have Hamza, our PPC specialist, and we're going to dig into some of the results that we've seen in Trickle Up.
Thank you, Nasya. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And I think it'll be a really interesting conversation to have, because at Trickle Up, what happens is that overall, we work with a lot of our clients and we provide them with value.
Yeah.
We, run their campaigns. We make sure that they're earning, the best bang for the buck. But, somewhere down the road, I personally think we actually don't make a song and dance about it. We don't really tell the stories of what we're doing, what Nasya is doing in the office, what Hamza Yaqub is doing, and what other of our colleagues are actually doing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, working day in and day out, and then working with Sir Tosif, that's also,
I know, right?
because he's just, and I ask him daily, like, where does the energy
come from?
That energy, we all need to have that energy. And I'm actually in my 30s right now. Maybe he's 45, 46 right now. But I don't have that energy.
I know.
And it's just such, frustrating for me.
Why don't I have that? He's always just super energetic and enthusiastic.
So again, this is just one opportunity where we're trying to maybe match his energy, where we're trying to showcase what we're doing on a day-to-day basis for our clients.
Yes.
And yes, as you're absolutely right that, there are a lot of clients that have witnessed some really good results. They've actually come back to us and they've said, yeah, you guys have absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
This is the same phrase that they've said.
Yeah, because we've played around, we've tested a lot, we've refined our strategies, and we've seen the impact on our performances. To kick things off, everyone listening who might not be familiar with PPC, could you just give a brief explanation of what that is?
Yeah, I think before diving into, let's just clear out the basics.
And why it matters for our businesses.
Yeah, sure. So PPC basically means pay per click. However, in our terms, we also call it like programmatic ads. We also call it performance marketing.
Yeah.
Performance marketing is basically now the most trending thing in the industry, where a lot of clients say that first you have to show the performance, you have to get the results, and then you'll talk about what you'll get. So again, from a performance marketing perspective, PPC is basically at the core, I would say, because the industry is such that if you're not running ads, you're actually invisible. And I can say that with full confidence while working in this industry for over the past 7 to 8 years now. Because there was a time when, you could do SEO, you could do some organic content as well, and you would get, some leads here and there. But nowadays, it's just that, the magnitude of the number of ads, the number of ad platforms that are available to people, and the people are, and the multiple businesses, especially in the UK, the people who are using these platforms, it really shrinks the space for SEO, for organic marketing. So this is where you have to build strategies for PPC marketing, for performance marketing, for ads, and then obviously you have to then understand that there are multiple things that go along with it as well. It's not just ads running in isolation, it's what you do. So obviously you're a content strategist. I come to you on a daily basis. Nasya, I need help with this landing page, I need help with this content, I need help with this specific copy.
Everything is kind of
connected
with each other.
So I think that is what PPC actually is.
Yeah. So Hamza, when it comes to campaign performance, what do you think are like the key metrics that we should be focusing on?
Again, a really brilliant question, but I would say that metrics differ in terms of niche, in terms of the number of clients that you're running ads on, the specific industry, the time frame in which you run ads on. So performance metrics, if you want to go for like the fundamental ones, there are 2 to 3 like really big ones. Number one is the cost per click. So in any industry, if you are running Google ads, let's say, so there is one specific metric that you have to look for, which is what is the cost that I am paying for one click that I'm getting in return. All right. The other one is basically the cost per conversion. So then you have a cost per click and then you have a cost per conversion. Now let's say you have 30 clicks. All right. Those 30 clicks costed you around $200. Or £200, let's say, all right? And out of those 30 clicks, you get 2 people who have actually bought your service or your product.
Mm-hmm.
Those two people who have bought the product, you have to then calculate what was the profit out of those two people,
Yeah.
and then you have to calculate the overall ROAS. So the cost per conversion, let's say if you have two people who have converted, so the cost per conversion would be, let's say if you've spent $300, the cost per conversion would be $150 per lead. So if you're spending $300 overall, getting 30 clicks and then two conversions, your cost per conversion is 150 pounds or $150. All right.
Yeah.
And then you have to understand that, all right, if those two conversions actually gave me a profit of, let's say, 1,000 pounds or 1,500 pounds.
Yes.
Then you have to calculate how much profit or return on ad spend you got based on that. So let's say if you've gotten 1,000 pounds in return in profit and you spent 300 pounds, so overall you'll get a return on ad spend of around, let's say 5x. All right.
Yes.
Or in this case, if you multiply, it's around 3 to 4x.
Thank you, Hamza, for answering that very well. Let's get into one of the accounts we're working on. Could you, be it dental or pharmacy, could you briefly explain what was their starting point and what changes we've made?
Excellent. Yeah. So I think my biggest clients that I've worked with over the past 3 years have been either dental practices or pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
Why? I'll tell you a very interesting fact about dental practices. Yeah. So dentistry in the UK is very different from what it was, let's say, 10 years ago and 20 years ago. And this is precisely because of the NHS access collapse.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't have access to NHS right now because the funding was basically backtracked. A lot of things happened, and that actually created a big opportunity in the dental marketing industry. And I personally think that not many dental practices are actually capturing this opportunity. Yeah. And that's where we started getting into the performance marketing bit for dental practices. We had, I worked with multiple dental practices, in Sheffield, in London. So in London, we have around 2 to 3. We're now having this new branch open for a branch or a franchise open for a dental practice in Leeds as well, which again, the idea is to make a dental practice as successful as possible, that it would be able to then expand into other cities.
Yeah, right.
And this is what exactly happened with the dental practices that we were working in.
I think that really works for people who aren't able to access NHS. They could go for private treatments.
Yeah.
And dental and pharmacy opportunities are one of them.
Yeah, and again, in the dental industry, I would say, again, there are multiple services that you could actually target. So we were targeting Invisalign. So Invisalign is basically, invisible retainers that you have. So it's around 3 to 4,000 pounds, per retainer. Then we were targeting patients who require dental implants. We were targeting that specific audience as well. However, I personally think that the composite bonding niche has been the biggest and the most lucrative option for dentists, and dentists should actually go for, selling composite bonding, advertising themselves and making them the market leaders for composite bonding in London and in other cities in the UK. And that really helped us basically to sort of increase the revenue of the clients by almost 50 to 60%. So when this client came in, it was getting around, 30-40 conversions per month. We took it to around 60 conversions. And then now our goal is to get it around 70 to 80 conversions per month. Specifically people looking for composite bonding and general dentistry services in London, which is a big metropolitan city. I think you've been to London, right? You understand?
I have.
But
I think we moved very strategically when it comes
we
to
have to. We have to. I think digital marketing, especially nowadays in 2026, strategy is everything, because there are a lot of distractions that you have. However, if you have a very strong base nowadays, that really helps you a lot in making a good strategy, a sound strategy that will deliver 3 to 4x results at least, and then 10 to 11x results at the maximum. So that is where we came in. Again, the socials, and that's another thing. But specifically in terms of PPC, that was the case. In terms of pharmacies, I think the next biggest thing that I worked on in pharmacies, which might also become the first biggest thing now. Ask me why. I think you know it.
What is it?
There's this another drug. You worked on Mounjaro, right?
I have, yeah. Oh, the new drug.
The new drug.
Yes, the new weight loss drug. People are going crazy over it.
Yeah. So again, the point is that basically the most successful weight loss drug that was working in the market was Mounjaro. And I think you know about it. You've written about it.
And Mounjaro.
You've written, I think, multiple blogs about it as well.
Yes.
Right now, it's Retatutide.
Yes.
So Retatutide is basically a new drug that is currently finishing its trials, and it has the highest ever recorded weight loss, around 30 to 40%, because it's, I think, it's a triple agonist. I don't I don't remember that word. What's that word? Let me just look it up. So it's a GLP-1 consultation drug.
Yes.
But it targets 3 different genes in our body.
All right.
So
yeah.
that means it's basically a killer of fat.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's working more effectively.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the latest one,
Mm-hmm.
and a big opportunity in the market. However, if I tell you, for the past 2 to 3 years, we've had loads of success with Wegovy. We've had
Yes.
loads of success with Manjaro. Why?
Mhm.
Because our marketing strategy was working.
Yeah.
What we were doing is that we weren't just specifically targeting ads. We were doing social. We were doing
Yes.
influencer marketing. We were just exploring each and everything.
Mhm.
So that's why I think personally, we had a lot of success in the pharmacy niche.
Mhm. So Hamza, for somebody running their pharmacy or dental practice and want to invest in ads, what do you think they're making? What are the mistakes they're actually making that's not giving that progress?
So I think, first of all, look, one thing that we have to understand is the people who are running the dental practices are not marketers. They're dentists. They're
Yes.
doctors, basically. All right. And it's very important to empathize with them. It's very important to
Yeah.
understand their perspective as well, because
Yes.
they don't understand what marketing
I
actually
mean,
is.
you
And then
educate them on
to
things.
educate them. So dentists should actually choose an agency or people to work with who will actually educate them on what works and what does not work. And
Yeah.
if they are about to change something, let's say we had a dental practice, and what they did was they basically changed up the offer without any consultation as such, and that actually had a very negative impact on their overall marketing, because I would say that the offer is the most like core element of any marketing strategy. If your offer is good, your marketing strategy will work. If your offer is not good, if you're selling at higher rates as compared to your competitors, there is a higher chance that you will get a very high cost per lead. So eventually we have to understand that dentists need to be like briefed about these things, need to be, because they are mostly busy in their own work.
Yeah.
So I think I would actually reach out to dentists and tell them about what's wrong with their campaigns, because I see a lot of campaigns for dental practices in the UK that are not running correctly. I could just see the campaign and realize that the budget is being wasted.
Yeah.
That is the result of obviously years of working in this industry.
Yes.
And then obviously I don't have the time to sort of reach out to each and every dental practice in the UK
Yeah.
and then help them out. So eventually what happens is that maybe they have to sort of reach out to people who will educate them, who will make them understand that all right, these are the things that we have to do in order to make sure that our strategy is consistent in the long term approach and not a short term approach, and just not stick to word of mouth, because again this industry for a very long period of time has been working on word of mouth, which is an important part of the industry. But if you're talking about 2026 and with artificial intelligence coming in, with so much like data manipulation going on, you have to make sure that you have a long-term strategy based on PPC and ads.
Right.
Done?
No. So we've actually helped a lot of our dental and pharmacy clients like that, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to such strategic changes, what do you think actually made the impact? Was it changes in the ad copy? Was it keyword refinement? What do you think? Was it just audience targeting?
Well, if I talk about from a technical perspective, obviously that would be too technical to understand maybe, but generally what I see is that people go for broad marketing, which means basically targeting broad keywords, broad strategies. So if you go on, let's say, Google Ads, you have multiple strategies that you could run a campaign with. You have, let's say, max conversions, max clicks, so-called automated bidding strategies that are completely automated. Then recently I think Google has also introduced AI Max. There was PMax, which was a big headache initially, but now I think Google has also given us some level of control over the PMax campaigns. However, the AI Max, I think it's still in the works. So overall, I think whenever someone wants to run a campaign on Google Ads specifically, he has to make sure that the strategy is such that he targets the right keywords in the right manner, which means go after let's say phrase match keywords, and then have a couple of like broad match keywords into the mix. But the important part here is that you don't bid higher on the broad match keywords. You have to keep the broad match keywords in check. Otherwise, they'll just eat up all your budget.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what do you think that business owners misunderstand about PPC performance? Like, do they tend to focus on the amount of clicks and actual conversions?
Yeah, I think business owners don't realize that PPC is not a one-day job. It's not a two-day job. So I have a very interesting story I'll tell you. So I was explaining this to a client of mine as well. So a client of mine recently started their e-commerce brand, and they were running Google ads. So they were expecting 10 times or 20 times results in 1 month or 2 months.
Yeah.
All right, which is not the case. So I was explaining it to them that in order to make a Google Ads account an asset for your business, it almost takes 1 to 2 years. Why? Because when you start off a Google Ads campaign, there's just loads of traffic coming in, and then you have to filter out the traffic that is actually beneficial for your business. Will you'll actually get value from?
Of course.
And that isn't a one-day job, a two-day job. You have to consistently look at all of the keywords, all of the searches that people are actually searching for.
Yeah.
Go through all of them. Pick out the ones that you think are not working or draining your budget. Block them, add them into the negative list, and then this process goes on for almost 1 year. After 1 year, that specific ad account, if you have worked on it properly, is a proper asset. So a lot of people says it then runs on autopilot, which isn't the case, because obviously you have to make a lot of tweaks into, and then the strategy as well. But as compared to something that you've just recently launched, it's just 100 times better.
Yeah.
It actually supports you with your campaigns if you've worked on it for almost 1 year. So I think that's about it. Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to pharmacies, do you think there are just specific patient behaviors that are actually consistently performing well?
In terms
Be
of
it the services or whatever they're offering. For example, we have travel vaccines, we've got weight loss injections. What do you
I think so a brilliant point you raised about the travel vaccinations. So I ran travel vaccinations specifically in Leeds and Bradford. I could actually see that the customer trends are in line with the general trends in the market. So let's say if there's a hay fever outbreak, or there's a measles outbreak, all right, and the pharmacist actually tells you that the market is, and when you trust the pharmacist and then go with the strategies based on what's in them, you see that the customer behavior is similar. And then secondly, let's say there's this Hajj season right now, so a lot of people are going on Hajj, and similarly throughout the year a lot of people go on Umrah as well. There are specific times when that influx of people who going into Makkah and Medina for Umrahs is much more as compared to other times.
It becomes compulsion to actually get the vaccine.
Yeah,
right.
So you target based on those customer behaviors, which actually reflect the overall trends in the market, the overall trends just in the society as well. So I think that is really important, that a lot of marketers don't understand, which is the societal and PPC connection. You target the keywords, you create a strategy for your PPC campaign based on what's happening in the society, which actually works.
So talking about pharmacies, at Tricula we've had a lot of clients that are pharmacy, dental clients. So talking about pharmacies, at Tricula we've had a lot of pharmacy clients. I need you to give me some stats based on the performances.
Yeah, sure. So we have multiple pharmacies we work with. We had a pharmacy in Leeds, we had a pharmacy in Bradford, we had a pharmacy in Batley. The Batley one was very interesting because the Batley region isn't as big as compared to the other regions such as Leeds and Bradford, and the overall locality is very low. But there's this thing that I talk about, which is that once you have a very strong presence in your specific locality, then for a long period of time they'll just buy each and everything from you. And that's the most important bit, because what we did was for Batley Pharmacy initially with a very small budget of, let's say, £500, £600, we managed to get them, let's say, 50 conversions, 60 conversions for travel vaccinations, for weight loss medications, for airwax, multiple services. We targeted multiple services, and this wasn't just through ads. This was
Yes.
through a combination of SEO, local SEO, on-page SEO, and socials as well, social posting. So regularly organic content was being pushed. So generally in Batley, we became the trendsetter. We became like the go-to pharmacy, and which actually showed that if you're getting 50 leads in a month, 45 or 49 of them are actually getting closed.
Yeah.
So that was a big
It gave
success.
in the results.
The great results.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Hamza, for a business owner starting with ads, what do you think if he's not seeing the results? This is not the right question. I don't know. So for a business owner starting with ads, and if they've started ads previously and have not seen the results, what do you think should be the starting point? Where should they start?
Again, business owners nowadays, I think they're just too like what do you call them? They just want results too quickly. So
Yeah.
they're very impatient.
So they're not
I think.
giving in that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that with ads you should have a bit of patience first of all. Secondly, again, it's all about testing. So if something hasn't worked before, that does not mean that it won't happen again. It won't be.
Yes.
It won't work again. So I think you have to put a bit of trust in the agency as well if you're working with an agency, and then make sure that there's a level of transparency as well. So make sure that you're actually working with the agency and the agency is working with you rather than for you.
Yes.
And that, I think, that collaboration will get you the results, will get you where you want to be. So I think that's the main bit that I would tell a business owner in the UK.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll come back again with another episode where we share real growth stories that trickle up.